Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are still working on the Taming of the Shrew, and we are still in this scene that could be Act 2, Scene 2, could be Act 2, Scene 1, is really just kind of the end of a really long Act 1 that Shakespeare decided was so long he didn't need to have an Act 2 and just went to Act 3 straight after Act 1. Wherever we are in the play, the stuff that's going on, Petruchio is now trying to woo Catherine. And he's doing everything that he can to annoy her, really. He decided that however she behaves, he's going to pretend that it's the opposite. So if she's really rude, he's going to pretend she's being really nice. If she just screams, he's going to pretend that she's singing like an angel, all this kind of stuff. And so they've been having this back and forth. Oh, and by the way, today we get to hear from Petruchio because he talks a lot. They've been having this back and forth. It's full of double entendre and sexual innuendo and sexual suggestion, and it borders on harassment. And they're going back and forth, and she's like, in yesterday's monologue, she was like, well, things would be better off if I just left. And he was like, oh, absolutely not. And then proceeds to tell her that her company has been lovely and her wit is slow and all of these sorts of things. So the opposite of what the conversation actually just was. And she afterwards, she's like, so how did you learn, like, where did you go to study talking like this? And he's like, oh, I learned it from my mother. And she's like, oh, a smart mother, but a stupid son. And he's like, I'm stupid? And she's like, yeah, you're stupid. And he's like, but like, I'm warm enough to keep your bed warm, or stupid enough to keep you warm, or some such thing like that. And there's back and forth, more insults, a little more rapid fire stuff, until Petruchio just kind of gets tired of the whole thing. And he says, Mary, so I mean, sweet Catherine, in thy bed. And therefore, setting all this chat aside, thus in plain terms, your father hath consented that you shall be my wife, your dowry agreed on, and will you, nill you, I will marry you. Now, Kate, I am a husband for your turn, for by this light whereby I see thy beauty that doth make me like thee well, thou must be married to no man but me, for I am he, am born to tame you, Kate, and bring you from a wild Kate to a Kate conformable as other household Kates. Here comes your father. Never make denial. I must and will have Catherine to my wife. I know it's not the right term, but indentured servitude is what flashed into my mind first, if not then the like mail order bride. Because what he's saying here is really, you have no opinion in this. I'm going to marry you. Like, your father has already agreed that if I take you off his hands, I get this big of a dowry for you. And while you're married to me, I'm going to break your spirit, and I'm going to change you from being this loud, rude / independent, intelligent woman into like the same kind of woman that every other man is married to. I'm essentially, I'm going to turn you into your sister, is what he's saying. And then Baptista and Gremio and Tranio are all coming in, and Petruchio's like, haha, how you do? Yes, I'm going to marry Kate. And it's also interesting to note at the very beginning of their little like fight, their little back and forth in this scene, he says, you know, I've heard that you're called Kate. And she says, no, actually, my name is Catherine. And then he makes a point of calling her Kate about 30 times throughout the rest of the scene. So he also misnames her throughout, which is, anyway. So when Baptista and Gremio and Tranio come in, Baptista's like, so how's it going with my daughter Catherine? And Petruchio's like, fabulous, we're gonna get married on Sunday because we're totally in love now. And Catherine's like, yo, I'll see you hanged before I marry you on Sunday. And he's like, no, Sunday's gonna be great. Let's get this all going. Let's start this up. And the other guys are like, wait, you're really? You agreed to this? You're gonna marry her? And Petruchio has a little more to say tomorrow because, shocker, he likes to talk. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow for more. Mwah.